I had instances where clients who we recorded a long conversation with and put it on YouTube. And that client reached back to me on LinkedIn the other day and he said, one client watched the entire thing, went to my website and asked to talk to me. And the video is playing a significant role in this client become a client to them. All right, so welcome everybody. This is Taking the Leap, where every week we come together, document our own journey as business owners, and also share insights that are relevant to other people who are starting their own business.
Absolutely. Today, I'm really excited to talk about how my week went because I learned something different, new, and something I haven't done before.
Awesome.
Can I start?
Go for it. Just before you start, we want to tell the audience what's the structure of the episode. So just to restate, like how each episode, what do they expect when they watch or listen to us?
Right. So the first portion of this episode is what did we do to take the leap this week? So what was our leap? The next portion is the founder stories, where we share an entrepreneur that resonates with us. So we'll share why. I'm going to, in this episode, try to get Naja to guess who the entrepreneur it was that I chose. And then the next portion is what I wish we knew, or what we wish we knew. This portion is all about, now that we've been in the entrepreneurial journey for a little bit and in this space, what are things that we wish we knew before we encountered them? It's important for us to be able to share with others things that we've learned throughout our journey, right? So that way, hopefully other people who are walking through their entrepreneurial journey as well can avoid some of these pitfalls.
Awesome. So tell us about your week.
Thank you. So this last week, the thing that I learned was editing a video. So it was my first time ever editing our podcast. And it was so much fun, but I also didn't realize how detailed and precise you have to be, as well as, everything has to make sense. So it has to all fit together. It's like telling a remake of a story that you originally had so that it makes sense and that listeners actually want to watch. So that was really exciting for me. It also takes a lot of time. It took me a few hours just to do the first episode, which is the 1 hour of our first podcast. Again, 3 hours of editing, y'all. It was quite a bit, but it was really fun. I enjoyed it and I look forward to continue doing it as well.
Awesome. Yeah, she did an incredible job and I can't wait to see the outcome of that edit. By the way, when we're talking about editing we're not talking about actual editing. We're talking about time stamping the video, the footage, the raw footage, and extracting from that footage nuggets of information that will be a good fit for a short clip. We're talking about YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, because ultimately the long form is quite a massive commitment from the audience to listen to us speak week after week for an hour-long episode. And so what the main goal of having a podcast like that is not really the long form. It's not really of course, we would love if we have audience who would listen to us for the entire hour. But the idea here is that we use the podcasting platform to create these short clips, to create these short reels. Because as we are discussing things, sometimes we might drop some really cool wisdom that would be very much relevant to someone else watching. And not
everybody wants to hear the whole thing. So maybe a little portion of our entire video, they might resonate with that and they'll be like, oh, okay, I want to learn more about that.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're excited about this journey. I think we're producing a lot of content and, we're going to keep doing it.
It's exciting. And I mean, if it, like I said earlier, if it resonates with even one person, then I'm happy. At the end of the day, we're doing this to document our journey and this is exciting. It's been really fun to dress up for us, just to hang out and have some dedicated time to just spend together.
Absolutely. And when it comes to this last week, I think the highlight of my week was participating in the Indian Gaming Convention in San Diego. That was a huge experience for me as someone who is new to the hospitality and gaming world. I know that you have much more experience in that field than I do, but I got invited by a potential client to participate in the Indian gaming, and I went for the first time and saw the different vendors, the different companies, the different resorts, and the different Indian tribes that they have different casinos. And I got to interview a lot of the people who were exhibiting in that convention. And yeah, it was quite an experience. And you get to participate for the party. How was that for
That
you?
was really fun. It was also, again, I was not part of the Indian gaming conference. I was invited to come to a networking party. And so that was really fun. We were in a yacht. It was so Instagrammable. We were just having a lot of fun, just mingling with other people and getting to know about people's about tribes and the nations, and and how in the gaming world, how different companies work together to make sure that they are helping these tribal nations. I thought that was really fascinating. And
Companies are exhibiting. One particular vendor there was so proud of their glorious, massive 8K slot machine that they
wow.
were showing, and the psychology involved in making people engage or addicted to that game, which morally I have some questions about it. Like I know that gambling is not something that I necessarily advocate for or like want people to do. It's something that can tear a lot of homes apart. It can destroy people's wealth, and it can do a lot of damage due to its addictive nature. And so, but of course, if like everything, like alcohol, like everything, if it's done in moderation, if it's someone who's just want to go on vacation and play with a limited budget and just have fun, then yeah, I mean, why not? It's just like everything else. You cannot be so strict about everything in life. And, I think I learned this the hard way. And I think we need to always have our guardrails when it comes to how far do we take anything, whether it's, again, alcohol, even coffee, or any substance or any activity that could turn into an addictive activity.
Right, I agree with you. I would say that this is why casinos tend to say, this is an entertainment destination. It's you are here to have fun, and it's really not about, winning money or anything like that. This is not a job. This is just a way to have fun, right? With your loved ones, with your friends. And that is really the type of guest that these casinos are trying to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. So we can go to the next one.
Sure. So the next portion is the founder stories. With the founder stories, we each are going to talk about an entrepreneur that we resonate with. And so for me, I'm going to give you some hints as to who this person is, and then you have to try to guess them. All right. So this entrepreneur, this is a woman.
Oh, okay. So I'm good. It's not the same person.
She's very feminine, and she really tapped into her feminine power. I'm going to give you a few clues as to who she is, and then you'll try to guess. Okay. So this woman, she started off her company with only some pantyhose and a pair of scissors. All right.
No idea.
No idea. All right. So the next clue. There were 0 investors that backed her at all. As a matter of fact, she only used about $5,000 of her own money, her own savings to launch this. In addition to that, she was a salesperson. So she used to sell fax machines for a living. And so she decided that she didn't want to do that. She just had an idea. And then she ended up taking the leap and following her gut, even though anybody who, if I were to tell you right now, honey, I think I can start a business with some pantyhose and a pair of scissors, I don't know if you would 100% back me. Who do you think it is? So she was the founder of Spanx. So for those of you who don't know what Spanx is like the undergarments. This is the company that helps to keep you tightened up, that helps like create bras and things like that, all undergarments that at the end of the day are really very comfortable and breathable for women. And she blew up. She blew up and to this day, Spanx is a really, really big brand.
And why did she blow up, you think?
She blew up because she found a need. What I was learning about from her is that she, at the end of the day, she used to hate having the pantyhose, and like she hated the look of the pantyhose, the way that the pantyhose looked underneath her pants. So because you know how there's, back in the day, you would have to wear pantyhose under your pants for women. Maybe you didn't know that problem, but she hated it so much. And so she wanted to find a way that she would be able to wear undergarments in a way that was still breathable.
Right. And is there anything else interesting about her story? How did she start? How did she market it herself?
She ended up becoming a billionaire. And the way that she marketed herself was through the organic reach. She would literally do a lot of first cold calling and start talking about it. And because she was naturally really good at sales, she was able to convince people to let her get in front of them. And so she did. And again, it wasn't with any investors. She just saw a need that resonated specifically with women that other women hadn't done. And so when she was able to fulfill their needs and able so that her clients and the people who she was looking for to buy from her, these people, when they tried them, it was so good that they had to say yes.
So the product was amazing. It solved a problem. And so the product kind of marketed itself with her skills in negotiating deals with wholesalers and other people of that nature. She was
really able to find the pain point for women so that way they could be more comfortable yet beautiful.
Got it. Cool.
I love
Sarah Blakely. Is she old?
She's not that, it's not that long ago. It wasn't like 100 years ago.
Awesome. You want to know mine?
Yes.
All right. Mine it's very famous already, but I like their story and I'm a big fan of their content. So we're talking about Gary Vee here.
Okay.
So Gary Vee came to the US with his parents. And what is the most common business that immigrants usually take on when they come to the US? Liquor stores or smoke shop.
Okay.
Especially for, Lebanese or Syrian or people from the Middle East, people from this kind of side of the world. This is kind of the business that they kind of go to. His father came, I believe they were from the Soviet Union, some country from the Soviet Union, maybe Russia at the time. Right now it's probably called, but at the time it was something like whether Russia, Belarus, something of that nature. So his father came to the US and opened a liquor store, and little Gary Vee was kind of like sitting in the shop and selling liquor, right? And then the difference is that Gary Vee was curious and he was kind of digital savvy at the time where the internet barely is opening up. Mm-hmm. So he was the first person to use, or one of the the first people to use Twitter when Twitter came out. And he was the first person to use YouTube when YouTube came out. And he was the first person to use Google Ads when Google Ads were so cheap. And so he started using these new tools at the time that nobody believed in. Mm-hmm. And he started using them and gained a lot of followers for his wine business. And he started selling wine. He started selling wine for his dad's store. But he was always, whatever new tool that comes out, he was an early adopter. He was someone who want to try the latest gadget and the latest technology and the latest platform that is out there.
Right.
And that paid him a lot of dividend. So sometimes when we adopt new technology, when we become the early adopters, a lot of good things happen. And in his admission. Like he adopted a lot of new fads that did not blow up. Like he was behind Tumblr, for example. And right now, Tumblr, nobody hears about it. And at the time, he was so big on it. And he was behind a lot of NFTs and stuff. And again, NFT did not blow up, maybe not right now. But so he's the kind of guy who will jump on the new platforms and go all in just because he feels that he's playing the lottery with every new platform. And so I feel that his story inspiring because not only he used these new platforms for his wine business, when the right time came, he wasn't afraid to change course. He went from talking about wine all the time to start talking about social media and marketing. And now he has one of the biggest, most successful agencies in the world, and he has millions of followers. And he still every single day appear on social media. He produces content on scale. Even when he have consulting calls with people, he always makes sure that there's a camera recording him. Right now, he is also streaming his days in his office live all day long on Twitch and whatever other platforms. What is so special about his content is that he's so authentic. He's not afraid to speak up his mind. He's not scripted whatsoever. And yeah, he's just killing it. And he's the one who inspired me to really do what we're doing right now, which is a podcast studio, because he believes in business owners should be on social media by hook or by crook. Any type of social content that you create is good. As long as you are out there, you're talking about your business, about your industry, you're adding value to people, you're creating good content. That's what matters. And I think starting a podcast like what we're doing right now, not for the sake of the long form, but for the sake of these clips that we can generate content at scale, cut them out, and distribute them across all these social media platforms. He was a great inspiration to me. What do you think of Gary Vee?
I don't know too much about him, but I also have heard about him being the son of an immigrant and that he started everything from scratch. I do know that he's really big, and I am really impressed at how passionate he is about the importance of putting yourself out there, that everything has to be videoed. And, you know, at the end of the day, you are your own personal brand. So you should be putting yourself out there so that the whole world can see you, no matter what it is that you're doing, whether you're a teacher, whether you're in cosmetics, whatever it is, you'll get more buy-in. You'll be more trusted when the world can see who you are.
Fantastic. Yeah. So that's my entrepreneur of the day.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that. You were very well prepared.
I was not actually. It's so funny because this morning I shared with you that video about how Gary Vee is literally explaining my logic for offering the services that we offer. We are the founders of Parrots Lab, and we are recording this podcast in Parrots Lab Studios here in the Inland Empire. Mm-hmm. And what we offer our business owner clients is helping them create content. So creating content is at the heart of what we offer as Parrots Lab, because this is something that other digital agencies do not provide at the moment. I mean, you can find so many people from the kids in college all the way to the big agencies out there who will manage your social media, will do your SEO, will run your digital ads, and to a various degree of professionalism, of course. But we are truly a full service agency because we help you from the most important aspect of your business, which is creating content, talking about your business, positioning yourself as an entrepreneur, as an authority in your field, an expert that people can trust. I had instances where clients who we recorded a long conversation with and put it on YouTube. And that particular episode did not do well, really. Like we had like maybe 150 views on that episode. And that client reached back to me on LinkedIn the other day. And he was like, hey, remember that episode I recorded with you? I was like, yeah. He said, one client watched the entire thing, went to my website and asked to talk to me. And the video is playing a significant role in this client become a client to them. They are a tech business from the UK, but that really worked very well for them because why? Their customer, when you watch someone talking for an hour discussing their business, you kind of build a relationship with them. You build trust. That they know what they're talking about, and so that type of content is very important, especially for high ticket businesses where their customers do a lot of research. If it was toilet paper, I mean, you don't need to come to the podcast if you're selling commodities. No disrespect for people selling toilet paper, but commodities, usually the competition is only based on price. This is basically it. I mean, if it's low ticket commodity, people don't do a lot of research to buy toilet paper. When it comes to high ticket services or high ticket products, people do a lot of research. When you want to buy a house, you do a lot of research. When you want to buy a car, you do a lot of research. When you want to hire an agency to handle your marketing, you do a lot of research. And so that's what podcasting come to play, creating content, showing your face, establishing yourself as an expert, as an authority. That's when it makes all the difference.
Wow, that was so good. And I couldn't have put it more succinctly. Succinctly,
is that
succinctly.
word?
Yes, that's when you kind of like compress it all in such a beautiful way that there's no better way to put it.
Yeah, creating content is the kind of the main service that we offer, but also we do not shy away from all the other add-ons. We call them add-ons because, social media management, we have a team that manages your social media. No big deal. We have a team that does your search engine optimization. We have a team that does digital ads and run your Facebook, Instagram ads, etc. So ads and all of these other services are add-on to the main substance, which is you come to the Inland Empire, you come to our studio, you record this high-quality interviews, and you go home with a month worth of content, and then you do it again and again, and in no time you become the authority in whatever field you are.
I love that. Yes, thank
Awesome.
you. All right, so the next portion of this episode is, what is it that you wish you knew before you started?
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is that the team. I wish that I had the team that I have right now early on, because I was doing everything myself at first. But I cannot say that if I go back in time, I will do what I did now, just because it is very risky to start spending money on other people when you don't make enough money. And at that time, I wasn't making enough money to hire people. But now that I'm lucky enough to make money, I think having the team is a game changer, because kind of it's a multiplier of what you can produce. When you have, right now we have 4 editors and 2 social media managers. And, if you combine all the output of these people, I mean, it's impossible for one person to do what they do. And I know that you're going to be taking some roles in the future. I know that you're showing interest in editing and showing interest in finance.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I finished my editing yesterday. I did awesome. Thank you very much. Well, I know I did a great job because my husband told me that I did a great job. But it was, like I said, it was my first time doing it. And I thought it was going to be a lot more daunting than it actually was. It just takes, as I said, it's time consuming, but it's fun. And I was laughing the whole time because I thought, I felt, at least to me, I think that we were pretty funny, right?
Are we?
Maybe we're like awkward funny, but yeah, it's fun to, it's fun to be able to go back and see what it was that we were talking about, and just, maybe some of the answers that I gave would have been a little bit different if I had really thought about it. But the whole point of this podcast is not really to script anything or, to show a face that isn't us, We're here to be transparent, and we're here to be open and honest and just have a conversation. And some people may love it, some people may not, and that's okay. At the end of the day, we are who we are, and we can sleep well at night.
So what is the thing that you wish you knew before we started this business?
The thing that I wish I knew was how, again, I don't know if I've said this already, but how much work it takes. And not that it is difficult work. There's a lot of tedious work, a lot of work that you wish you could delegate to somebody else. And to your point earlier, where you were saying that at the time when you were, when you were first starting, you probably wouldn't have done that. But this is why it's good to start, taking assessment as to what it is that you can handle and what you can't, and start vetting people that could potentially come in and help you. I know for me, for example, with the time stamping and the editing, I know that takes a lot of time, and I know that it's a big relief for you. Another thing is the financials. I'm really excited to take that over as well. So it's a learning process. It's exciting, and it really isn't as difficult as we think, as we build it up in our heads. You can literally reach out to an expert. You have SBDC, for example, as an option to reach out to, and they'll help you completely for free. They just won't do it for you, which I think at the end of the day is even better, because that's how you learn. You learn by doing. Most people end up being kinesthetic learners anyway. So take the leap and just do it. And I think that's what been one of my biggest learnings, at least for this week so far. In my head, I was thinking, oh, it's going to be so hard. What if I ruin it? What if I suck? And then you were like, I sent it to you. Go ahead and get started whenever you have a moment. I was like, okay. Took a breath, opened it, and started to figure it out. And I was like, oh, it's really not that hard.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, I'm excited to see how is turning, and I'm sure it's going to be great. So
It is going to be great. It's going to be great. And again, this is a really important thing to do, because those clips, like the long form, it's good for some people, but most people only want to see, and they only have the attention span for like 30 seconds. And you have like 3 seconds to get their attention in the first place. Otherwise, they'll scroll right past you. So having that thought in mind as I'm choosing what those reels will look like is really important.
yeah. And another thing that I want to talk about is the Inland Empire. I have been recently looking into Instagram and trying to search for influencers in the Inland Empire. And what I'm finding is like a lot of the content is either the controversial, the kind of, I hate to say it, but it's like the stuff that is not intellectual, right? I don't know how to explain. Could you help me? Like, it's like a street content. This is what is popular in the Inland Empire, or at least this is what a lot of the famous people within the Inland Empire social media are. I looked at the top 5 influencers in the Inland Empire, and they are
Artists.
not really. Like, you will see a lot of like people going to the homeless and talking to the homeless. A lot of people talking about their time in prison. A lot of people talking about like how, it's like a lot of funny content, which I understand. Like, entertainment is always big. But I feel that there is a gap in the Inland Empire for content, like for this high quality, intellectual kind of content. And I feel that, there's a lot of potential for what we're doing, because there are a lot of reputable businesses who want to associate their brand with our brand, because we are building a platform for classy, upper level, professional,
Business-minded leaders.
leadership content. And yeah, I didn't see enough. I didn't see any, actually. But, of course, my research is always limited. You cannot do every single Instagram profile. Or maybe, these Instagram profiles are there, but they're not popular. So I think there's room for what we're doing here.
I think that's great. And if there are, I would love to know, right? Again, we only know what we know. We're here to learn and grow and become well informed and, even find space to collaborate. So this last portion is for our guests or for our viewers to collaborate with us or to let us know what is going on with them. If there's anything in particular that you would like us to cover, anything in particular that you have questions about that you would like for us to answer, we're happy to. Again, we're an open book. We are wanting to be as transparent as possible and share our journey. And some weeks are going to be very action-packed and fun-filled, while others may not be so much. I know for this week, as Naja shared, he was at a conference all week. And so he was able to network and work with a lot of people and talk to a lot of people and gain a lot of information. However, he wasn't with his clients as much this week as he normally would be. We are happy to answer any questions. One thing that I want to share with you as a listener is things are going to be slow sometimes, but slow and steady, steady and slow.
That's how we
gotta
want to go.
Yes, that's the way that we gotta go. It's not about that, starting small and then becoming a billionaire overnight. It doesn't work that way. And if someone promises you that, that's typically a scam. So beware. We're here to show you from the very beginning how we get down and dirty, how we are having the difficult conversations, the things that we're, sucking at and the things that we're winning at. And we're here to show it all, bear it all with humility and hopefully with your kindness and your patience. But we just want to hopefully help a couple of people who are out there who are thinking about being business owners themselves.
Awesome. Yeah. And if you are watching this and you think that you would like to, come and create your own show, your own podcast, maybe not even podcast, you want to just talk to the camera and create like a talking head videos and you don't want to invest thousands of dollars in the best equipment and insulate and create your own studio. So you can just, come over here and we will help you through the whole thing from A to Z. You just come and record, and then we handle everything from the editing to the publishing. If you need any help with your content, even monetizing the content with landing pages and email marketing, the whole funnel, the word that you don't like.
No, I do like it. I just didn't understand it initially. But the thing about you, Naja, is that you are so good at explaining, making it so that somebody who doesn't know anything about that world, you bring them in and entice them and make it so that they're excited to continue and to start learning. And you are such a good teacher.
Yeah, you are as well. You do it for a living, so I cannot compete with that.
This is a wrap. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Ready?
1,
2.
Yes.
It worked, right?
It worked.
All right, that's a wrap.
Have a great day.